boys and girls. In this video we are going to learn how to make a salt dough ornament. Another option, if you do not want to make the salt dough and you happen to have some, would be to use Model Magic. Model Magic is available at most stores that sell crafts. You can get it at Walmart, you can get it at Target, you can get it through Amazon. It is just wildly popular and widely available. So you're going to need some clay, maybe a little smaller amount than a baseball even. You're going to need either a lollipop stick or a straw. Or you can just omit this and you can make something else. And then you can also use markers to color your clay. I always like to work on a piece of nice clean paper. Usually that paper is white, but because we are videoing this, I wanted the clay to stand out a little bit from the paper. So I have decided to use Model Magic mostly because I have a nice amount of it in the classroom. So the very first step is, if you use Model Magic, you need to get it warm. You can see it just breaks apart when I stretch it, but the more I knead it, the more it warms up. If you are working with the salt dough recipe that I gave you in the lesson plan, you actually do not have to warm that up. That is just perfectly ready and available to make your ornament. Okay, so mine is starting to finally warm up. You can tell it's getting warm because it's starting to get nice and stretchy. Okay, so you're going to take your clay and you're going to roll it into a ball, just like rolling a meatball. And if you've never rolled a meatball before, all you're going to do is you're going to go in circles like this with your hands, but you're going to hold them this way. You're going to keep the clay right in the hollow of your hand, and you're just going to roll it into a nice little ball. And then you're going to start going back and forth like this, kind of like this, and you're going to make it look kind of like a hot dog. We want to take our hot dog. You can use scissors or you can just break it apart. I like to use scissors because it just makes such a nice cut. We're going to roll it into about the size of like a small breakfast sausage. We're going to set that one aside. And this one we're going to kind of flatten out. We're going to take the marker and we're going to push it very gently because we don't want to ruin the tip of our marker. And you can use whatever color you want. I like to use nice bold colors, and you definitely do not want to mix colors for this project, because let's say you like maybe blue and orange together. When you mix them, you actually get brown. So you want to stick to one color. You want to like gently push the tip into your clay. You don't want to color on the surface because you're not going to get as much ink into the clay. You're going to take your clay, fold it in half, and you're going to do that a second time. Just like this. And you definitely want to fill the entire surface. as you can see, I've done this 4 times. Usually I just tell you to do it 3 times, but I'm doing this on camera, so I want to make sure that you could see the results. You'll notice that when you look at the marker, the tip is still in good shape. I did not push that tip in at all. You definitely don't want to destroy your markers. You want to put the color into your clay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start just pulling and folding, and you can see this clay gets really cool looking. It starts to get all marbly, and the color will go right into that clay. Fair warning, I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but you can see I am getting the markers on my hands. If you do blue or purple, that color is going to like really show up on your hands. So just be forewarned, it's going to stain your hands. You're probably going to need to take a shower and wash your hair, because washing your hair with the soap tends to really get the marker off your hands. Or another thing that you can do is you can do a load of dishes for your family. Yes, you are capable of doing dishes, and I believe that you can do that. Okay, so after we get our color mixed, we're going to make a ball. We're going to roll it into that hot dog shape, just like this. And we've got 2 evenly shaped hot dogs. We're going to push them together, but we don't want to combine those colors, because what we want to do is we want to swirl that color. So what we're going to do is we're going to run our hand back and forth like this, and we're going to go side to side. This is where it's important to work on a clean surface. So we're starting to get a longer hot dog. We want to roll with 2 hands with our fingers open, and we want to pull very gently to open up that clay. You might want to cut your clay in half so you could do 2 ornaments, just like this. Now, when we've got a thick spot, the way we take care of that is we open our fingers very gently and roll. We don't want to get too much more thin than like the thickness of a pencil, and you see how this area is getting thin? So we want to keep our hands off of that area, and we're going to try and roll next to the area and make our coil an even length. By the way, when we roll clay like this, it is called coiling it. Okay, now for the fun part. Very gently, we're going to start turning. And this hand is going to turn this way. This hand is going to turn the opposite. And as you can see, you get a cool stripe. Now our stripe is getting to be smaller here where our clay was thinner. So we just want to hold the clay, and we just want to turn the areas that don't seem to be really coming into a good pattern. Okay, so from this point we can simply roll our clay like this. We want to make it like just into that lollipop design. Believe it or not, boys and girls, if I was a candy maker and I wanted to make a lollipop, this is the same identical technique that I would use, but I would use, of course, like a sugar and water mixture that was heated super hot, and I wouldn't be able to touch it with my hands. I would have to use tools to do this. But it is the same identical way that candy makers make lollipops. Okay, so we want to put a hole in this, but not too close to the top, because we want to make sure that our hole is like, it will hold our ornament when we hang it up. Okay, so I've got some clay in the top of my straw. I want to trim it down. It would be way too long to make a lollipop stick anyway, so you'll need to trim it a little bit shorter. And in it goes. You can buy lollipop sticks at Walmart. You can also buy them at candy supply stores. The place where I usually get them was closed this weekend, which is why I am doing this with a straw. But I think that's kind of better because then you guys will know how to do it if you don't have a lollipop stick. A lollipop stick is not a real common thing to have at home. So you want to take a paper towel and lay it out to dry away from pets and little siblings. And you can let your lollipop dry like that and then just string it up with a little hook if you want to hang it somewhere. Another project that's pretty cool that you can make, you could take this second half of your clay, roll it really thick, and start twisting it like this. And you could also make like a little candy cane. If it's not twisting in one area, you just hold the area that's twisted right, and you just twist that area where you want your stripes to be. So there's a candy cane and a lollipop. You don't have to make a candy theme at all. I think these are super cute and they're super fun to do. But if you wanted to, you could just, you could use that technique to dye the clay with the markers, and you could really make any kind of ornament that you wanted. So I really can't wait to see what you decide to make, and I hope that you enjoy crafting. These are actually a little more durable if you decide to make them with the salt clay, because the salt clay is just not nearly as brittle as the Model Magic. I just happen to have the Model Magic on hand. So, okay, happy crafting. I guess we'll see you in the next video. Bye.